What's up, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Team Chat Podcast, a video game show. I am one of your hosts, Jarrett Wilson, joined to my right by Rachel Mogan.
Buongiorno.
Buongiorno to you as well. I don't know why I looked in the camera to talk to you like that. Buongiorno to you as well. How are you this fine day?
Tired, Jarrett. I've been gaming too much.
Too many flat butt gaming sessions coming up?
I've been gaming too long, too hard. We're actually
happens.
recording late today because I slept through my alarm. Oopsie doodles.
I almost was like, did she remember? Granted, I did ask late, to be fair. I did ask you late, like it was yesterday afternoon, it was Saturday afternoon, and I was like, hey, no, it's late, but you want to record tomorrow because I was just late to do it.
I also always just kind of assume that we are, unless you say we're not.
Unless we say you're not. Yeah, that's always a good call, I guess. But then I always feel bad thinking that you're like sitting there like, is he going to say he wants to record this weekend or not? I've got plans I'm trying to make.
I'm just going to fucking show.
And so,
assuming I don't sleep through it, which I am almost always late, but today I was more late than usual.
Well, and so it got to like 11:40, and I was like, or 10:40, and I was like, because we normally record at like 10:30 in the morning, and I was like, did she forget? I mean, I totally understand if you did because of me asking late, but no. But so you've been putting in the time,
I've been
putting in the
putting
games.
in the long, hard hours, which, to be honest, I'm still not sure how many actual hours I'm into Breath of the Wild, because I still haven't figured out, like, if there's an in-game section that tells you. And I forgot to check my Nintendo account, so I have no idea how many actual hours
You'll just have to wait until your 2023 wrapped from Nintendo.
I guess
and that's
so.
what you'll learn how many
I was
hours
thinking
you got.
about that exact thing the other day, because between Octopath Traveler II, which has been a ton of hours for me, between the surprise of Final Fantasy Theater Rhythm, and between what I know is going to be a big fall game for me, air quotes, because I've been sitting on Metroid Prime Remastered this whole time, saving it for bad weather, because I feel like that's the perfect bad weather game. My Nintendo Wrapped this year might be the biggest ever.
Really?
Because I've put almost 100 hours into Octopath, and I'm not even close to done.
That'll do it.
I think that I'm probably going to max out around... I'm pretty close to being done, so maybe I could be wrong about this, but between what I know is likely to be a secret super boss and a little bit of post-game content from one Path, I feel like I'm probably going to wind up about minimum 120 hours, maybe 150 into Octopath. So it's going to be a big, meaty game. There's no way I'm going to put less than that into Breath of the Wild 2, Tears of the Kingdom. People call it Tears of the Kingdom, I hear. By its proper name, I guess, the one they put on the box. So yeah, I think my Nintendo Wrapped is going to be bigger than ever.
That's cool. And well, it'd be cool to see what those are. But couldn't you also I was just thinking, doesn't it tell you like in somewhere where it like shows it like in your friend list or something, it shows like your list recently games played and like has a rough estimation of how much time is given?
Do you remember when we talked about this last time? The reason I didn't know when we did First Impressions is when you start a game for the first time, for about 3 to 4 days afterwards, that little summary just says first started playing blank days ago.
I see.
So it doesn't
you have to
actually
like
give
hit
you
a
the
certain
hour
threshold
count.
until it does that.
Yeah. Now I'm sure it will now, but I just haven't gone back and checked. So I don't know how many hours I'm in.
I do like a recent update that the PlayStation PS5 has made recently is that it now does show your playtime on the main screen of the like when you're choosing your game and stuff. It says like in the bottom right corner, it just has a little symbol. It says how much time you spent. So I've been liking that because it's been easy to have a quick little tell of how long it's been going. Because like I don't understand why not all games don't say that. I feel like it's a pretty good big metric that people like to track.
You would think so. The other thing I considered is, oh wait, I haven't shut the game down and come back into my save file.
Yeah, that could do it too.
But I did that. And I came back in, and even the in-game save file doesn't tell you how many hours you've put in.
Weird.
It just tells you when you last saved. It's like not helpful.
Yeah, that doesn't help anybody at all.
That's not what I wanted. I want to figure out how bad it is, because I think I'm minimum 25 hours in.
Dang.
I don't know, because think about it. I probably played for at least 5.
You gotta be more than that.
Maybe. Because I've played for at least 5 to 6 hours.
Yeah.
Probably most weekend days. And I took a 4-day weekend last week.
Right.
So what's 5 times? Well, that's 20 right there.
Because I was going to say, like, I looked in Survivor last night. I got to be like 35 hours in Survivor at this point. 33, 35 hours. And you've been playing it. Well, I guess Survivor did come out a weekend before, but
I would still say I've probably
Still, like, I feel like you've caught up by now. Yeah.
It might be in the 30s. I'll have to actually check when I get home, and we can put it in the comments.
That's true. And we'll let everybody know. But you know what we'd like to know from you is how many hours of Team Chat podcast have you played? Because we're here to give you another hour of content for you to listen to on podcast services around the World Wide Web. And you can also watch a video version of each episode over on our YouTube channel. Links for all that are in the description below, where you'll eventually see Mogan's play count for The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom.
Eventually. Someday.
You can also follow the show on social media at Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. You can also join our Discord channel over on our Discord server. I don't know why I said that weird, but I did. Where we have a lot of great conversation about games and other non-gaming related topics when we're not here recording the show. And also, you can head over to patreon.com/teamchatpodcast, where some other cool people, of course my Face ID doesn't want to work, some cool people like Super Saiyan Ace, Erica L, Elise F, Zach S, Mariah S, Susan M, James K, Michael B, Andrew M, Michael S, and Brandon W have done. Well, they've gone over to patreon.com/teamchatpodcast, where as little as $1 a month, you can support the show. And in return, we'll give you cool perks like getting the episodes early before their general Thursday release and access to a private channel on our Discord server, the Rogues Gallery. We also have a lot of extra goodies along the way, like some custom emotes that are patrons can use and other good stuff like that. So check out all that. And for everyone who's been a patron, thank you very much. If you can't do that, we totally understand. There's free ways you can support the show, such as telling your friends, writing us reviews, subscribing wherever you're listening to, or watching the show. All that good stuff helps get the good word of Team Chat podcast out there to the masses. And for that, we're incredibly grateful to each of our patrons, viewers, and listeners alike. Heart emoji.
Heart emoji. I gotta my
had to move the mic
range
out of there.
of
Yeah, I know.
motion.
We're still got to figure that out. That's the one thing. I need to get a new mic stand because with this new setup, for some reason, exact same company, exact same model, but this one I think must be a little bit newer because it fits on my desk. The little clamp thing.
The clamp.
Mogan's doesn't for some reason, and we're having to like improvise. So got to figure that out.
I'll just fight it with my arm.
Just be dueling with it the whole time.
Yep. Just like the dueling peaks in Breath of the Wild 2 Tears of the Kingdom. Which were
It
also
all
in the
comes
first
back
game.
around.
It all comes back around.
But no, for today's episode, we wanted to do something a little different. We've had a couple of 3, actually, we were counting before we started, of like really big reviews all in a row from Octopath, Tears of the Kingdom, Jedi Survivor. So we're taking a break a little bit. We're slowing it down this week and just talking about whatever the hell we want to talk about.
Classic
shoot the shit
episode.
episode.
Yeah.
So we're just here to talk about anything and everything about
By the
games
way,
that
I
we've
do
want to
mention
lately.
that was planned. It's not just because I overslept. We talked about it yesterday.
I've had no time to prepare. Let's talk about random shit. Although, I told Moga before we started that I almost was saying like, I'll do my Ghost of Tsushima review, but I want to give that let's space it out a little bit.
Let it percolate a little bit.
Because we are also now in the middle of all these very big games that we've done our first impressions on, and we still have to actually get through those games. We've been spending the hours in Tears, Octopath, and Jedi Survivor. So might be a bit before we have a fresher review. So let's space them out a little bit. Let's not go too crazy.
Have you gotten to the? I know you said that you got the expanded version that of Ghost of Tsushima.
Oh yes,
that includes the Isle of something. Have you done
Iki
that?
Isle or Iki Island?
Yes. Yeah. Have you started that part?
I haven't. I still need to do that stuff, and I still need to try the Legends. Oh, so I guess my review wouldn't have been ready anyway. So I can't even do it.
See?
So this is perfect.
Incomplete.
So I do need to touch on and play those parts, at least the Legends mode, before we do the full review and everything. But as I've said, the main game itself was a good time.
Well, something else that I wanted to talk about, because we literally haven't had time in our episodes to do really any big news. Did you see the Overwatch 2 news?
That they canceled the PvE, which was I completely forgot that was even a thing they were going to do.
So to be fair, I think some people, like myself included, because I never really thought about the player versus environment sort of pseudo campaign mode that much either.
Yeah.
But that's because I was, functionally going from, it's just still Overwatch.
Yeah.
Like the Overwatch 2, the 2 in Overwatch it's just salad dressing.
Yeah.
It's not necessary because it's the same game.
Oh, yeah.
But originally, the whole point of Overwatch 2, air quotes, was that they were going to add this whole new PvE, team-based PvE mode with character skill trees and different ways that you could max people out and give them unique abilities, and it was going to be really cool.
That's cool.
Looking back at some of the footage of hey, remember all of this shit that they just totally scrapped? It's we kind of did get robbed.
Yeah.
So even though it is a free-to-play game now, it's like, oh, wait, so you had reintroduced Overwatch 1, called it Overwatch 2, didn't really change anything except for take one person out of the team equation, so it's 5v5 now instead of 6v6.
Give a couple new modes.
And then implemented the worst battle pass on the market.
It's not great.
And then you took away the PvE mode that you promised. It's like, like looking at the whole scope of the picture, it's like, oh, they really kind of botched it.
It's interesting. Like, even I know that we still all, as our group and everything.
Yeah, I want to make this clear.
We still play
Overwatch 2, and we still enjoy it.
And it's still a fun time. But it is interesting how much it's just like Overwatch 2, the hurrah and the the pizzazz of it all, just like immediately was like, there it is, and it's gone. It's just like no one cares.
And apparently they made the decision, the hard decision to scrap PvE mode almost a year, over 6 months ago.
And just now,
and they've just been sitting on. So the game came out in fall of last year, didn't it? Overwatch 2?
October, I want to say.
So basically, they've
known since
launch that they weren't going to do the PvE mode, which that makes me mad for two reasons. One, it makes me mad that it's not actually a sequel. Two, that makes me more mad because the people that really, really liked Overwatch 1 with all of its mechanics, with the 6v6, it makes me mad that there is no way for those people to go back to that game. The fact that they force updated everybody to Overwatch 2, I mean, you could argue that it's splitting hairs, blah, 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 but I paid $60 for Overwatch 1. I bought a physical edition. And that game basically got stolen? I mean, for lack of a better word, they kind of took that game away from me to replace it with Overwatch 2, which isn't necessarily something that I think everyone that played Overwatch wanted, which I hope that trend does not continue. I mean, think about that. Think about if I bought Tears of the Kingdom for $70, and then 3 years from now, they just kind of paste another game on top of it. You'd be pretty pissed, right?
And it's like, if you do a new game, if you go back into that and you do new game, it doesn't give you the option of, do you want to do new game Breath of the Wild, new game Tears of the Kingdom? No, it's like, oh no, it's the combined thing. And the stuff that you knew and loved from the beginning is done.
It just, the more I think about it, it's like, ooh, I don't like that.
I mean, it does make sense. I agree with what you're saying, since it started as the $60 game, moved into the free to play thing. That is new, and I don't necessarily know if we've seen. Well, no, we have seen that. I was trying to think. Games have gone. Well, Destiny did, actually, I guess.
Technically, Fall Guys, even though
Fall Guys,
we got it free because
we did, because they had the PS
free.
Plus thing where you could get it. But Fall Guys, technically, it started as a $25 game.
Yeah, when I heard that other people were having to pay for it, I was like, what?
Yeah, what happened?
What do you mean?
Who duped you?
I think you guys are getting scammed.
Cancel your card. Some fraud.
No, apparently it was actually a paid game, and then it went free to play.
So I will say that. So correct myself. That's not new. It is something that we have seen before. But yeah, it is kind of weird that I hadn't thought about it necessarily in that way of because I bought Overwatch 1, also paid $60 for it, and now you're right, can't go back to that, and then couldn't even access coins for a little bit that I had earned. Granted, I'm not playing Overwatch a lot. I haven't launched into it other than playing with you guys in a long time. So it's just that's not necessarily I wasn't heartbroken over that, but now thinking about it, it's okay, but I should be able to use this money that I either was holdover from purchases I made, or that I get earned in game. It's kind of funny. Sam and I were actually just talking about that this morning. Different, but close, and just how. Because we're trying to figure out how to keep all of our personal photos and stuff like that backed up, and sure, because I've used photos on Mac for forever.
Man,
and then
you and Sam both take so many pictures.
Yeah,
I can't believe you have enough computers in the house to hold them all.
And because Sam has her, she was a photo journalism major in college, so she has all her photos from that and stuff like that. So we have a ton, and has been the thing of keeping it on a hard drive, putting it in the cloud. But then it's just got easier to back it up to the cloud. But then it's kind of the thing of, with any digital product, really, it's not technically yours. We back our stuff up to Google Photos. If Google closed tomorrow and we had no other stuff, those not stored somewhere else, they would be gone.
Yeah.
And it's kind of an interesting thing. We're even seeing it just recently with, what was it? Disney Plus, and HBO, with all this digital streaming services, they're cutting, content And it's not just like you can't watch it here, but here's the DVD.
No, like
it's just gone.
Yeah.
Like it's like the new what's the one on Disney Plus? The Willow show that they just made.
Yeah, I was really surprised to see
Is going to
that.
be gone.
Like they just made it.
Yeah.
It's not that old.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure
people were really excited about
because
it. And now it's like, wait, why are you deleting it so quickly? Yeah. I don't understand that one at all.
And it's like, and I understand in that case, you are paying for a subscription, not like the actual ownership, but games, yes. You're buying technically, I guess the official legal jargon is you're buying the license to play the game. But still, it's just like, it's the difference of the physical versus the digital. And I understand it's super easy now to want to just go all digital. I've started even going all digital. But
this is exactly why I'm not going all digital.
But it's the thing, but it is the thing of just like, I still try to make it a point. If it's something I really love, best believe I'm getting the physical copy. And so after especially Disney Plus started doing all that, I'm like, oh my God, how do I? So if anyone out there knows the nefarious means of how I can get myself a copy of...
It rhymes with schmiracy.
How I can get The Mandalorian,
Andor,
HBO. I mean, Obi-Wan, Andor, Boba Fett, all of them. I need them all. I'm not picking favorites. I need them all. So
they
if anyone
put out any DVD releases
No.
or oh God, okay. If anyone knows the schmiracy,
you're on board with me too. Because no, that's what I mean. It's just like
God.
It's cool to have everything at your fingertips and to be able to take a picture and it automatically upload to the cloud. But it's just a thing that like has somewhat, because we were talking about it, how in the context of how it's like the Gen Z and other and younger generations are going to come up just assuming this is how it's always been, but they're still like us, like we're on the cusp of the physical to digital. Who's like, no, still keep your stuff in your like possession where you can have your hand on it, because there is not a guarantee.
Not yours.
Yeah, there is not a guarantee that Google is going to stay open forever. And so while we're no longer we're gonna quit being old people shaking our fists at the wind and changing times.
But you know what?
But still,
we're justified in that.
It is a little
because
bit.
There's a lot of scumbaggery out there in the business world that isn't intended to benefit the customer.
Oh, no.
It's intended to benefit the shareholders.
Well, I mean, yes.
So any way that a company can make money off of you, whether that be switching up their subscription model and deleting a bunch of content so they don't have to pay the artists that made that content anymore.
That was the other thing that I picked up, because I saw somebody responded to the article I was reading, commented on it about the Hulu Plus thing, and they were just like, don't have to pay residuals if there's nowhere anybody can watch anything. And I was like, oh shit,
yeah.
It is like I hadn't even thought about it from that regard either. So yeah, it's just like protect the shit you want to keep.
Yeah.
And if anyone knows of places, a place where you can go,
dude, let's just go to China. We can go to any street market in China and be like, yo, you got DVDs of The Mandalorian. I mean, they got them.
That's just a question that I have in general, even for just like YouTube channels and stuff who like do like talk about these shows, or like people on Reddit will like post a high quality screenshot. I'm like, where the fuck did you get that?
Yeah,
this episode just came out. What secrets do you know that I don't know?
You're getting them from somewhere.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Like I have an ultra wide monitor, and I would love like cool backgrounds for that. And I love especially like the concept art stuff that's at the end of like The Mandalorian, stuff like that. So like, sure, I'd love to be able to snag a quick screenshot and make a nice big 4K thing for me, but I have to wait till somebody uploads it on Reddit.
So
I could figure it out, but I'm lazy.
That's a great point, because I was just watching like a 2.5 hour. I took a break from Tears of the Kingdom because sometimes
I
do
we're not
actually
even talking about games right now.
No, sometimes I do actually have to eat, but I was watching like an over 2 hour full review of all of Andor.
Yeah.
Just because I had just finished it.
Hell yeah.
And I was so
dig into
I
that
was still
lore.
so high on it.
Yeah.
I was like, you know what? I do want to watch somebody else talk about this thing that I love, which is what we do every day. So I was just watching it, and she had so many clips from the show, like full clips. She had whole scenes.
Which I know how to like pull stuff from YouTube and stuff like that. But
it's
still, somebody's
like,
got to get it to put it on YouTube.
Yeah, I couldn't believe. Like, I don't know if she got like copyright struck for that and just couldn't monetize that.
I think
video
it's probably not, because that would technically fall into the fair use.
Yeah,
stuff.
I was just like, wow, I'm amazed that you had this, basically the whole show's worth of clips. And I was like, as long as Anvil Man is in there, I don't care about anybody else.
But yeah, so it's an interesting thing, and yeah, it will be curious to see how much, if that does follow the trend only for more like live service games, if that trend is a thing that happens, because sure, just like if it rolls over into that, you're like, I understand kind of that, but it'd be interesting to see if it happens with like a standalone, like, yeah, a Breath of the Wild kind of thing like that. That would be very just like, oh, this is new and I don't like this.
Yeah, that would be super no bueno.
Yeah, no, not good
I mean,
at
it's
all.
already super no bueno in the live service world. And frankly, I just can't. I know they probably never will, but I wish live service games for the most part would die out.
I think
Like
I
the
think we're gonna
trend.
hit a fatigue of it
Yeah.
soon. Personally, I feel like I might have already for my own gameplay. Like right now, the only I want to say live service game that I play is Apex. I think it's probably just Apex.
And I mean
like
more
I'll dabble. I'll go like
yeah.
play Fortnite here and there a couple times when they release a new Star Wars skin. Then I'm like, yeah, sure, I gotta have that. But you know, it's mostly just Apex because who has the time?
I mean more, and when I say live service, I don't just mean the online multiplayer live
Sure.
service games of the world, which I totally understand that. What I more mean is, why did Redfall, which has a robust single player mode, launch with the requirement that you have to be always online to be able to play that single player mode?
I mean, that's been going on though,
In that
for
respect, yeah, it's been going
while.
on for a while, but why? Like,
Yeah.
why? Because it doesn't have to be that way. We know it doesn't. Other people do it.
Yeah, with the big stuff like that, I don't understand. Like, why? Like, I understand the games that like you're like playing with other players on the same servers and different things. That maybe it's to like make sure everything stays across on the same build when an update goes out. I don't really know. I'm not, I'm not knowledgeable in that area.
Yeah.
But I want to say like one of the first times that became a thing was it Diablo 3,
Probably.
and that was like
It would be Blizzard.
right.
Right, par for the course.
Man, get ready. Diablo 4 is coming out in
Jesus.
like a week. Get ready for all the like the microtransactions and monetization bullshit that we're gonna see there.
Yeah, Jesus. I still can't believe that back when Diablo Immortal was first announced, like
Oh, yeah.
eons ago, that they tried to pass it off as like, oh yeah, it's going to be a mainline Diablo game.
Yeah, no.
What?
I don't
What?
I know people, and I could be behind the times in how much people are actually playing big games on their phones and stuff.
A
But
lot.
if it's not like a mobile optimized game, I'm sorry.
I mean, it is. So here's the thing: it is optimized for mobile, but
It
in the
is.
sense that it is
no one-
microtransactioned to the.
But that's what I mean.
gills.
It's sure you may be able to play it and everything like that, but like, is everyone really going to their phone for the next big Diablo experience?
What you're basically saying is it a console quality game
Yeah.
on mobile?
Yeah.
And the no, it's not.
like
There
Apex
are.
Legends went mobile,
Yeah.
and they fucking canned that shit already.
They did,
Yeah.
yeah. Which I
Call of Duty tried to have like a mobile version, and I was like, this is
Yeah.
so dumb.
I was legitimately surprised when I saw Apex Mobile get axed pretty quickly after it
did not
launched
last
too.
long.
I couldn't believe it. I was like, wow, really?
Well,
Was
because,
it
like,
just
think
that
about it.
subpar of an experience?
I don't even think it was the fact that it was that subpar of an experience. It was more just the fact that you created another entire production pipeline for a player base that is probably, and I actually don't know the numbers, so it could be like, but I'm assuming the player base on mobile is way smaller than the player base on PC. But then you're having, but because of how they were set up, they couldn't be playing from the same servers. Like Apex Legends Mobile got mobile specific legends, so then you're having to create.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah,
okay.
so it's
I'm
like,
not into Apex.
So that one is, in that specific instance, is creating like two versions, and it's like, why split your time?
I
for like,
assumed it was still the same game with full
Oh, no.
crossplay. My
now
bad.
like the Switch version is,
Oh, okay.
but
okay.
like,
but the mobile version.
but the mobile
wasn't.
version is like a different version of Apex, and I was like, why split the time?
Yeah, because I mean that basically ensures that all of the console and PC players that are already playing Apex, they're not going to suddenly pivot to the mobile version just because they can if it's not the same game.
And an
like if it
Apex
were a
game
case
can-
of you just log back into your account on mobile and keep playing your same Apex account, sure, I can understand that and I would definitely see the usability there. But for a totally different version of the game where you basically have to start from scratch,
I even want to say that it plays in third person, that it played in third person, so it was like even completely different. And then same thing, like again, this is just me, just like not understanding it because it's not my preference. But it's just like an Apex game on PC, if it's a good one, can take 15-20 minutes. I don't feel like,
Yeah.
so, it's just like that is not the experience that I'm looking for. I'm not going to have a 15-20 minutes where I'm like, I'm not at my computer, I'm not at my console, but I'm going to play Apex. I don't know. That's just me.
If I need to kill that 10 to 20 minutes, that's exactly what Disney Mirrorverse is for.
That's what I mean. Like I'm gonna read stuff on Reddit or something like that if I've got like
Yeah.
that long to work in the time as opposed to playing something on mine. I even have Marvel Snap and like another like EA Star Wars game on here too.
To be
that
fair,
like I barely
Marvel Snap
touched
is
still.
actually a good game.
But Marvel Snap is a good
Yeah.
game. It's very
A
fun.
very rare example of a Marvel property in this day and age for gaming that didn't suck ass. Because most of them do. Oh boy. Yeah, Marvel Snap's actually good.
Marvel Snap is really good. I have liked that one a lot. Again, fell off really quick because like, it's too many things. My attention is pulled in so many different directions. It's nuts. I can't keep track.
Anyways, circling back to our original topic.
What was it?
Overwatch 2. Shame on them for canceling that PvE.
No, that was crazy. I don't understand that one at all. Because I really just feel like, or like don't even promise it. You know what I mean? Like if it's gonna be the free to play model, and you're like, you know what? I know we can add stuff in later because that's what this whole the benefit of this model is. You can like add new modes, pull modes out, you know, to your heart's content. But so don't even promise it.
Yeah.
You know, say like we're thinking maybe this. But don't be like, it's going to be in the game.
And they keep saying that, oh, well, don't worry, we're still going to add more PvE, you know, seasonal events in the future. But they already did that in Overwatch 1.
Right, that's not a new thing.
Yeah, it's not a new thing. And I imagine, and I could be wrong about this, I would love for Blizzard to prove me wrong, but I imagine that it's going to be exactly the way it was in Overwatch 1 of these team
Like
PvE.
Junkenstein's Revenge.
Yeah, like Junkenstein's Revenge, like whatever the one on King's Row was. The one where it was like back in time, and it was like young Tracer and young Reinhardt.
Oh, it was
Do you
like
remember that one?
yeah. It was like what is it? Black something?
Blackwatch, maybe.
Blackwatch. It was like a
something
Blackwatch
like that.
Chronicle Blackwatch mission.
Super
something
fun.
Like that.
Everybody loved that.
Yeah.
It was like the gang's all here. It was Mercy, Tracer, Reinhardt, Torbjorn, and Genji.
Yes.
Yeah,
And
it was
like
fucked up Genji before
Yeah.
they gave him the fancy
And
armor.
so he's like had like the one like robot arm and then like the mask and stuff
He'd
like
be
that.
looking janky. And then they fixed him up in post.
I did want that Genji skin, but I don't think I ever got it.
Yeah. But the point is, that's not new content. They were still doing that in Overwatch 1 before they added on the arbitrary 2 onto the end.
Yeah.
So I can't imagine that it's going to be that much different if they had to scrap all of the development that they had already put into the Overwatch 2 PvE. So
It's true.
the point is,
Speaking
that
of facts,
sucks.
Yeah, it does, and especially for because it just kind of like I feel like I have not talked to someone who has had necessarily glowing positive things to say about Overwatch 2. So it's kind of like just like, oh man, and it's like we said at the beginning, another letdown about it and stuff like
Yeah.
that. So, but you know, we'll just go back to our times of just staying in our group, queuing up for DPS and hoping to get it.
Yeah, and I mean, I'll put it this way. Overwatch 1, I very, very often played alone.
Same.
I have not touched Overwatch 2 on my own. Even just to get into training mode and finally unlock Ramatra. Because now that he's not in the battle pass anymore.
Oh, you can just go get him?
Yeah, his season has ended, so you can now unlock him for free, which is nice. But you have to like go into training mode and like basically learn how to use him to do so. And I literally haven't done that. So because of that, every time I jump online with the bros, it's like, well, shit, I still haven't unlocked Ramatra.
Yeah, I didn't even know that was a thing you could do. That's
Because
how long it's been since I've done it.
literally have not, I just don't play it alone anymore. And
Yeah.
I used to play Overwatch on my own a lot.
Same.
I put in a ton of my hours solo. So I wonder what that says about the state of the game, that it's not necessarily motivating me
Yeah.
to play it alone anymore. So I don't know. It's complex stuff.
I feel like all the incentive of earn got locked behind a paywall of the
True.
the battle
yeah,
pass.
there's nothing there for me to like work towards.
Because in the first game, like true, they were in old Blizzard fashion. They released new characters and we got new heroes, and that came at no additional cost to us with Overwatch 1, correct? Like
Correct,
new,
yeah. All
you
of
just got to play them.
Yeah, you just got to play them. Anna, Sombra, all those people.
Yeah, Ash and all
Moira.
that. And so they just all came in. You got to play with them as free. But yeah, now you have either Ramatra, you have to buy the battle pass to be able to have access to him, which then is dumb that he just becomes unlockable for free
much
at the
is
end
the
of the
battle
battle.
pass?
Usually they're like $10.
Okay.
I don't know if that's the exact cost of this one.
Man down.
But I know that like in Apex and stuff, and I want to say I looked at Overwatch 2 and they're usually like $10.
I'm going to
So.
check just in case.
just know how much.
$10.
Very interesting. Okay, cool. So that's at least the same. But it's kind of funny. It's like you even pay that, but then you can just get. Whereas before in the other game, you would get the loot boxes. You could buy the loot boxes, which granted, like threw in a lot of stuff with the microtransactions, the gambling aspect, and all that stuff that's been discussed for forever. But still, it's like you play the game, you could earn money. You earned enough money over time, you could buy a box. You got loot boxes for free whenever they had like a new event. You could it was all at your ability.
If you just earned enough in-game money, you could buy skins outright.
Yeah, that's
without
what I mean.
Need for the loot box.
That's what I mean. Yeah. So you just had this choice. So like it was up to you. Like I really want to get this skin. I'm gonna grind for a few hours by myself with friends, whatever. Get that skin. I have that sense of accomplishment that I played this game and did it. Now it's just like, well, I want to get this stuff, but you play and anything you unlock is just pay money to get this.
Yeah, it's like okay,
you get like a couple like drops in the free tiers, and I'm saying this is not just Overwatch 2 that I'm picking on. It's Battle Pass system in general. It's Apex. It's all that stuff. They all do it
like
to
I've
different
seen
degrees.
people out in the wild, not in the Breath of the Wild, in the wilds of Overwatch, like with the really cool looking underwater crab skin for hamster.
Oh, okay.
And I look at it and I'm like, man, that skin's cool. But all you did was pay like $15 for it. So that takes away some of the coolness. The fact that, you just paid money for it.
And I mean, and that is how it's always been in Apex, where like, you had to buy the skins either by paying the money or by because Apex has the 3 different crafting things. It's the legend tokens, which is what you can earn in game by leveling up. You get 600 every level, and you go up, and that's what you can use to unlock your legends. So and stuff like that. Then you can also throughout playing the game, you'll earn crafting materials, which you can use to once you accumulate enough, you can buy skins and stuff like that. Or there's actual premium currency, the money that you buy. By buying like tokens
basically
and
just
stuff like that,
the
in-game currency.
that you pay
but you
real
can
money
also earn 100 of those at a time through playing the battle pass. And there's a couple like modes on the free tier that will still give you that money and stuff like that. So it's like there's avenues, but it's still there. But it's not like Overwatch where it was this one way where you could like play the game and grind to unlock the very specific things you wanted. Now it is all covered and protected.
So excluding skins, we're not going to talk about cosmetics with Overwatch 2's Battle Pass. Just characters.
Sure.
In Overwatch 1, they released Ana, Brigitte, Moira, Ashe. What's the Mozart tank's name? Osmosis Jones. I just can never remember his name. We'll just call him the Maestro. They released Hamster.
It's like an S. It's gonna bug me now.
Symmetra. Sigma.
Sigma. There it is.
So that's at least 6 characters that they really. Oh, Baptiste. So that's 7. And I know
Echo.
Echo. They released Echo.
I'm
definitely still missing some.
Yeah. The tank. Orisa.
Orisa, yeah. So that's 9 fucking janked up hands. we gotta start counting like the British do. Whatever. So that's 9 characters that they released in Overwatch 1 for free. So I paid $60 for my game and then got 9 characters for free on top of that. Let's assume that they release at least 9 characters for Overwatch 2. If you wanted to unlock those people in the season they come out, that would cost you $90.
Yeah.
Fucking let me pay my money outright for the game and then do the updates later. That's all I'm saying.
I know.
But that's exactly why they're doing it, because they know they can squeeze more money out of people for it. And it's like, no, I'm not gonna pay into this system.
Well, and it's the thing too, and it's like, because I completely understand these arguments, and these arguments that I'm having are things like we're playing the games, we're still playing the games. It's not like we're sitting back on our high horse and be like, dumb fools, y'all are falling for a big scam.
But I'm not paying a dime to them.
It's like I still will, yes, with Apex at least, like will buy like the battle pass and stuff like that. But I'm also, like I said earlier, it's the live service game that I'm actively playing right now. Like I play it with Cody and Michael and stuff like that, and we'll go through, and I'm actively grinding. I am doing the grind there. And plus at this point, I've played so much, I already have enough stored up coins from earning it and playing the game. I can just buy the next battle pass
You're
already.
already so
Same
rich.
with how Fortnite was too.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that Overwatch 2 at the same time can also do that, to be fair.
Can it?
Can you earn in-game currency? I haven't.
Oh, no, in-game credits?
Yeah, to be
They
able to
are
buy the next
hard
one?
to earn.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. I know that the best way to get them is through the battle pass, so maybe, but obviously I'm never going to do that, so how would I know?
So, I don't know. It's I'm not saying it's just like we're sitting up and being like, this is crazy, because it affects the games that we're playing ourselves. and it's just kind of like it's lesser of evils, I guess. I don't know. I don't really know. It's just like I don't like it. Don't know how to fix it either.
Season.
Story of my life.
Pass.
I ran out of things to say. You're gonna have to do this Google search fast.
I'm going, Jared. I'm going. All right. Players need coins to buy the battle pass, and credits can only be used to buy select other items.
Okay.
That means there is currently no way to grind Overwatch 2's battle pass enough to cover the cost of the following season's pass.
Okay.
That was as of February 8th, 2023.
Okay, so probably not much has changed since then, because that's probably the last season or the new season that was just about to start. Because didn't they start a new season around Valentine's?
Yeah, I think they just did.
Yeah. So there. I mean, like Apex, you can. Fortnite, you can. Like earn enough currency to by playing it after you purchase the battle pass to be able to roll into the next battle pass, and that system I feel like works.
I feel like that's actually a very forgiving system.
Like
games
the amount of money
considered.
I played Apex since it came out. I'd say at this point, I've probably spent close to $60 on it all total.
Which a respectable quantity of money
that would be
for
the
a
full
game.
Time. Yeah, and I know that like eventually over time I'll probably spend more into it and stuff like that. But still, it's just like I'm careful with how I pick it, and I feel like it's not. If it was this thing where I was just like, oh, I gotta spend and I gotta have all this stuff, sure. But it's that is the nice thing with how, and I feel like how some game companies handle microtransactions well is when they are like, it's here, it's available, but you can still like enjoy the game even if you choose not to do it. And I feel like that's kind of the difference. Oh, right now Blizzard feels like they're forcing you to have to pay to be able to get the benefits and to enjoy the things.
Which
and that just doesn't.
pass.
Yeah.
You know what I'd rather do instead? Spend my $60, $70?
Now 70.
Spend my $70, which I understand, but I would happily pay $70 for the 95 hours of 2 Octopath that I've already put in. Which I just kind of want to briefly talk about a couple of things, basically just updates.
Sure.
Like a little bit of updates about what's going on in 2 Octopath, because I feel like if I don't start talking about it now, there's no way I'm going to be able to fit all of my thoughts for a final review into one episode. We would either have to break it into 2 chunks and like talk about 4 characters in this one and 4 characters in the next one, or just like kind of drip feed it out.
Right.
So this is going to be some story spoilers for 2 Octopath, specifically for Agnia. Not Primrose. New Primrose. Throne.
I'm no help here.
Yeah, Agnia.
I just know my one guy whose name I've...
Oswald.
Oswald.
So we're going to talk a little bit about Agnia, Throne, and third character whose story I beat, who I don't fucking remember.
Not Oswald? You haven't gone back to complete his wonderful
Oswald.
story?
It was Chet. Because I beat her.
Chet.
I beat...
Chet.
Yes.
I thought you said, Chet.
No. Yeah, the classic 2 Octopath character, Chet.
I mean, that's what I was saying. I wouldn't have questioned it. I was just like, of course.
Chet from Delta Gamma Gamma. Yeah, we all know Chet. We love that guy. No, Chet.
There's Lloyd in Legend of Dragoon.
In my defense, it's because I beat her story by accident. She tricked me. But
don't you hate it when that happens?
Don't you fucking hate it when that happens? So I just want to kind of talk about a couple of things specific to each of those characters' stories, just to kind of do a quick wrap up on what I thought about them, and specifically in the case of Agnia, something that her final boss did that I thought was super fun and interesting. Do you think you're emotionally ready for that, Jarrett?
Sure.
Which one do you want to hear about first?
Dealer's choice.
Oh, dealer's choice? Whose name comes first in the order? Ochet does.
Ochet?
Yeah, Ochet.
Chet?
Or she's the... she could be the second O.
We'll say she's first O.
Yeah, is Oswald or Ochet first? Ooh, yeah, good question, right? Well, Oswald fucking sucks. So we're going to say that Ochet's first.
Don't try to sell me you're some smart master wizard when you spend 5 years in a place and think you have a plan and you have nothing.
What a dumbass. Anyways, without his fancy book learning, he's nothing.
Nothing.
Anyways, so Ochet's story. So Ochet's whole thing, and this was kind of true with Honnet, but not to the same extent. I think it is absolutely hilarious that they literally gave Ochet's entire story arc over to like copy paste Pokemon, the whole point of catching legendary Pokemon. Because, like back in the olden days, it used to be that legendary Pokemon often came in 3s and not the 2s like they're selling you these days with the Violets and the Scarlets of the world. We used to get 3 legendary Pokemon for the price of 2. That's not true. Some of the other new games do it as well. But so Ochette's entire story is she is being raised as part of the Beastling people in the world of Solistia. So the Beastlings are, for lack of a better word, furries. They are,
we are hitting the gambit of topics today, everybody.
Technically not true because they're beast humans. They are part, it looks like wolf. They are part wolf, part human. So they have cute little wolf ears and little wolf tails. So cute.
Furries.
When you unlock the hunter class, because Ochette is the hunter class, when you unlock hunter licenses for your other characters, though, it is cute because when you apply the hunter to some of your other characters, they don't necessarily all look like wolves. Hikari specifically looks like a black kitty cat. He gets little black ears, then clearly what is a black cat tail. So it's like, oh, okay, so there are cat people and not just wolf people. So either they're just never pictured as part of the Beastling tribe on Totohaha, or that's just for flavor. It's just for flavor that some of them get to look more like cats than like wolves. But Ochette is a beastling. She comes from the tribe of Totohaha. She comes from the tribe of beastlings on Totohaha, and she is being raised by a talking lion. Aslan. She is raised by Aslan, for those of you that are big fans of the Chronicles of Narnia.
A name I've not heard in a long time.
Many people have forgotten his name. Because they're not going to church enough, frankly. No.
I don't know. You wouldn't have heard the name of Aslan at my church growing up
no,
either.
Yeah, so I
Satan worship.
Yes. I read all of the Chronicles of Narnia and never once picked up on any of the religious connotations. And then the Chronicles of Narnia got really popular when I was in freshman year
Probably the movie, right?
of my high school.
Yeah.
So I saw like all the Christian kids carrying around the collected books, and I was like, what the fuck are you doing? What are you normies doing?
No, it was
so weird.
The movies came out, they got super popular. I'd read like a couple of the books before, like growing up as a kid, but then it turned into that,
and then the church
like freaks out because they're like, sure, this may look like it's supposed to be an allegory and it's supposed to be about Jesus, but it's actually Satan's lies.
Because there's magic and talking animals, you can't have that.
And there's like the one that was like pointed out in a church service one time it was just like there's all these characters of out there of all these different creatures of Greek mythology, like pans, centaurs. Where do you think centaurs come from? Literally, like the moment, the pause, and then the like look.
So wait, he didn't just say like somebody fucked a horse out.
It's like heavily implied. People fucking horses.
That is,
and so therefore very unchristian.
That is the funniest thing I've heard in a while, Jared.
Oh, I got stories.
Church must have been wild.
I've got stories. Let's we'll do a whole other podcast on that.
So Ochette is being raised by the keeper of the isle, the guardian of the isle, named Juva. He is literally just a talking lion. He's not like a beastling. He's not even remotely humanoid, except for the fact that he is apparently so magical and awesome that he just taught himself to speak really, really good English in the case of the version that we're playing. So he's awesome. He teaches Ochette how to hunt, which they actually make a really funny joke about it later in the game if you unlock one of the travel banters of somebody's asking Ochette like, oh, where'd you learn to hunt so well? And she's like, oh, Master Juva taught me. And, he's a lion. And they're like, how? And she's like, well, a lot of verbal direction. He doesn't have thumbs, you see, so he couldn't literally demonstrate.
Like, let me teach you how to do this. I can't do it myself.
I can't do it myself,
but
I
have seen people
know.
that do it, though, and I am a master.
I thought it was so funny that they actually addressed that in-game. I was like, good gracious, you done it.
Yeah.
That's the best thing I've ever heard. So
that's peak self-awareness.
Peak self-awareness. So Master Juva teaches Ochette how to hunt, and he's basically training her to eventually take on the mantle of being Guardian of the Isle. Because Juva, I think they say in-game, is over 300 years old.
Oh.
He's old as balls.
Okay.
So he's going to die eventually.
Right.
He obviously needs a successor. Ochette is meant to be that successor. At the very beginning of her story, her basically tutorial chapter, she goes through a couple of things to like save some other stuff, defeat a monster, classic things. But she gets to pick a traveling companion. You remember Honnet had the panther, like the white
Yes,
leopard.
yes.
Yeah, it was like a snow leopard. Honnet had that cool snow leopard, which I don't think talked.
No.
No, yeah, it didn't talk. Well, that's because Honnet wasn't a beastling. She can't talk to
doesn't even
beasts.
know.
Yeah, she didn't know.
Might as well call her Scotty.
Yeah.
Scotty
Anyways, Ochette, as a beastling, she can speak to animals, and some animals that are just apparently real smart, like Master Juva and eventually Ochette's companion, they gain the ability of human speech as well. So Ochette can choose between two creatures. One of them looks like a dingo. I don't think it is. I think it's like a fox.
Yeah.
Or like, it's not a wolf. It kind of looks like a weird fox.
Fennec fox, maybe? The ones that have like the little big ears that
No,
live
it's
in the
not
desert?
that cute. I mean,
Damn.
honestly, I would just call it a dingo because I think it looks like a dingo. She gets to choose between a fox/dingo or an owl. And functionally speaking, I think I have not vetted this, but if you choose the owl's default move gives you the ability to use magical abilities. So Mahina is the owl's name. Mahina's ability is like if you send her out in battle, if you provoke her in battle to attack your enemies, she will do an elemental strike that is meant to attack an elemental weakness of the enemy. So if you've got an enemy that you're facing for the first time and all of their weaknesses are question mark boxed out, you have no idea what they're going to be weak to. Mahina could be a great source of whittling away at what those options could be because you send Mahina out, she does a wind attack, and you're like, oh, they're weak to wind.
Sure.
So it's very convenient. I assume that the fox, whatever the fox's name is, would do the same, but with physical weapons. Knowing Octopath Traveler logic, I think that's what the fox does.
Okay.
What's that old, like, what?
Oh, what does
is-
the fox say?
Yeah, never mind. We're not going to talk about that. Open up that Pandora's box. That Pandora's fox. Anyways, so I chose Mahina. I chose the owl
Sure.
because I was like, who doesn't love owls? This
Right.
fucking rules. So I picked the owl. She has a very cute little voice. Mahina is so adorable. And Ochette's task is her first chapter reveals that something called, the Blood Moon? Oh, I did actually call it the Blood Moon. Very appropriate with Tears of the Kingdom.
Right.
I'm going to call it the Blood Moon. I don't need
We know
to
what you're
check
talking
myself.
about.
Everybody's going to know what I'm talking about. The sky turns red. There's an eclipse.
Bad shit
It's
happens.
bad shit happens. So there's something that's about to happen called the Blood Moon, for lack of a better or correct word. Master Juva knows what it is from ancient texts and from ancient murals. These ancient murals on temple walls that show that three beasts of legend, Terra, the master of earth, Glacis, the master of sky, and Cataracta, the master of water, basically the three elements, are the ancient guardians of legend that when this event happened 1,000 years ago, they were the ones that saved the island, and by extension, the whole world of Celista. The island is just where it happens to happen first. So, you know this event is about to happen kind of any day now.
Sure.
So Master Juva's like, bruh, I need you, Ochette, to go. So the three guardians have scattered to the four winds since then, because, they don't live on the island all the
Sure,
time.
sure.
They've got the mastery of the elements. Why wouldn't they go out and explore and live their lives, They got places to be. So they have scattered to the four winds. You need Ochette to go and literally capture them and bring them back to the island for the night of the blood moon so that you can stop the world from ending. That is literally what her story is. It is so Pokemon, it cracks me up.
Yeah.
But those three events, those three creatures that you're going to fight, they all kind of happen in different ways in her story. And the first one in particular I thought was really fun and a good example of how the chapters into Octopath divert from the formula that Octopath Traveler 1 laid down. Because in my case, the first creature that I went to go find was Cataracta, the water creature. You go to this island off in, I think it's near the Conning Creek area. It's not there. I forget what the other town is called, though. Wait, is it? You might just go north instead of west. East. Anyways, the point is, you go to this.
You
travel to this place where you know that Cataracta is known to have been at some point. You find this cave where you like hear a crying sound, and you're like, oh, okay, well, the Cataracta, Ochette feels like Cataracta's presence is over there. You go to this island, you defeat somebody to get there. You use Ochette's provoke power to do that. It's very integrated with the battle system. You get to the island, get to the cave, and there's a big skeleton of what appears to have been a very big fish on the island, along with a lot of arrows and like spears and stuff laying around. And you're like, huh, that's weird. But you go into the cave because you can still hear something happening in there. And through the course of, traveling through the cave and defeating little small monsters, you get to an area that in the formula of Octopath Traveler, you would know as, hey, I think a boss battle is about to happen right there. But you get to that area, and there is no boss battle. Instead, all it is Ochette finds an egg, and the egg hatches. And it's a tiny Cataracta because an NPC comes around to tell you, like, hey, I was the guardian of this isle. We revered Cataracta as a god because they kind of literally are. They're like gods on Earth. But people, humans, the evil of humans, they hunted Cataracta and killed her. Luckily, right before Cataracta died, she was able to lay her egg in this cave, and then the egg hatches, and you get new Cataracta, which Ochette just calls Acta. And Acta is really cute. It looks like a Dratini from Pokemon, which I think was kind of intentional.
A little bit of copycat going on here.
It looks like a little bit of copy Cataractin. Don't spit it out.
That was a good one.
Anyways. So you get this, you just get her. There's one small battle against that NPC who's the guardian of the isle to basically get in.
Yeah.
But that's definitely not a boss battle. And when I got Acta without having done what I would consider to be a proper boss battle, I was really surprised. I was like, oh, okay, so that's all there is going to be to this chapter?
Yeah.
And with a few characters over time through the rest of the story arcs, there are other ones like that, where you play through somebody's story and it is purely narrative with a little bit of their unique ability mixed in to get to the end of that chapter. And I thought that was a really nice diversion from that formula and a good way to distinguish to Octopath as more of its own unique experience. Not, outside of the fact that it's 8 new characters, they're doing a new thing. It's still kind of the same, but it's not. I thought that was a nice addition to just basically give it its own identity. The rest of Ochette's path is, of course, going around to capture Terra, who is literally just napping at the bottom of a volcano. All you have to do is go down there, wake him up. He's pissed off because you woke him up from his nap.
Who wouldn't be?
You have to fight him. His fight is really fun, and he did I think he killed me. And then I had to start over. Anyways, he was really tough. And then I did Glasses last. And Glasses was kind of a pretty sad experience because you go up to the top of this blizzard mountain where it is blizzarding 24/7, 365 days a year, because something made Glasses really, really mad. I feel like maybe 40 years ago, something like that. And you're like, man, what made Glasses so mad? You get up to the top of the mountain and you find a broken egg. So Glasses had a baby, but a group of hunters came to that mountain to kill Glasses. They failed, so as an act of revenge, the last of the hunters who didn't die, who Glasses didn't just straight up kill, the last hunter broke her only egg. So Glasses is in mourning, she's furious, and all of these creatures are sentient. They can talk.
Damn humans?
Yeah, damn humans. Ochette's whole thing is about like, man, humans fucking suck. Which
Proven
is
true every
understandable.
day.
Proven true every day. Ochette's path is the too real. So,
Too Octopath, too real!
Too real. So you get to the top of the mountain, you find the last of the hunters who's still trying to kill Glasses because he's so bitter and mean.
Captain Ahab over here.
Yeah, Jesus. Glasses obviously put the smack down on him, so he's about to die anyways. But Ochette's like, Glasses, can we talk this out? So you do have to fight Glasses. It's a really cool fight. Their designs are all very, very cool. These are like gigantic creatures, so their fights feel very impactful. But you do eventually calm Glasses down, which is to say you almost kill her in battle, but instead you capture her.
Yeah.
And she's like, all right, fine, I'll go with you. what's happening now? The blood moon, you say?
We gotta fix this too.
So you've got all the creatures. You finally get to go back to Totohaha to basically fight through the night of the blood moon, which is super cool. So this is some kind of bigger story spoiler stuff. So definitely tune out if you haven't already. But so when you get back to Totohaha with the 3 beasts of legend, Master Juva, you, the rest of the beastlings, and even a small faction of human settlers on the isle, which is literally just colonialism. They are there and they are bad news.
Yeah.
Like in the case of Totohaha, they keep trying to steal the beastlings' land because all they know how to do is steal and consume and expand, just like humans. What a travesty.
God damn it, humans.
Anyways, you briefly team up with the tribe of humans on the island, the beastlings. Hi, Sam. Was it Sam?
Yeah, it is.
Hi, Sam. You briefly team up with them, and you go to it's like a waves event. So you've basically set up a barricade. You've set up a barricade on part of the isle facing where you know, or as Master Juva informs you, periodically, every 1,000 years, the whole night of the blood moon is actually an opening of a dimensional rift between Totohaha and some other dimension. That's where these weird, dark creatures are coming from. They're coming from beyond this rift. So the first kind of like ghostly, spooky, ectoplasmy creatures you fought in Ochet's Chapter 1, those were just the start of the wave. The rest of the wave happens when I think it's basically an eclipse. When the eclipse happens, they all come into the island, and if you don't stop them and close the rift, everybody's gonna fucking die. So you have to just fight through waves and waves and waves of enemies, which is really fun, functionally speaking. And then finally you battle, I won't say too much about this because it's very emotional. I did cry. The final battle of that whole arc is, narratively speaking, very well done. And it includes a couple of just in-game, I guess just decoration that is so fun. So this whole time, anytime you've been summoning Acta specifically, or Mahina, they're both small. Mahina's like a normal-sized owl, so when you summon her in battle, she's little on screen. She come out, she do a big swoop, that's kind of it. When you summon Acta, who is the size of a Dratini, Acta's just like a little small snack. Acta just come out and be like, wee! And it does like a little buff, and that's all Acta does.
That's funny.
So Glasses and Terra are big and bad, and you can only summon them once per battle. But Acta and Mahina, you can summon all the time because they're just little scrubs, right? Not in the final battle.
Oh.
In the final battle, something happens, and Ochet basically gets a surge of power. That also affects the creatures that she controls. So in that battle, when you summon Mahina, Mahina is the size of the screen.
Ooh,
she's huge.
that's cool.
And she do a big swoop, and it's like, oh my god, this rules. And then when you summon Acta, previously Acta has been like this big, like 2 pixels big, and like clearly a baby. But when you summon Cataracta in that final battle, an enormous, fully formed water dragon just appears on the screen and does like the ocean's blessing is
That's
the move,
cool.
and everybody gets buffed the hell out, and you're like, oh my god, this is so cool.
That's cool.
So it's just such a great way to infuse the game with that final battle with some much needed heavy hitting impact.
Yeah.
It was very fun. Plus, combine that with the fact that Ochet's theme is really good. Oh my god, that experience was so fun. I had an absolute blast with it. And now I'm tired of talking.
Well, nice. Good to see where you're still keeping up in
Ochet
two
rules.
Octo 2 paths.
I actually don't even think we have time to talk about Agnia's final battle.
How many more do you have, do you think? Like, how many more stories? How many more stories do you have to finish?
There's 5 more.
Oh, okay.
I've beaten 3. I've got 5 more.
Almost halfway.
I think I'm going to do Oswald's next because his chapter... So the one thing that I don't really think is a spoiler, not every character has 4 chapters.
Oh, really?
In one Octo, one Path, every character had 4 main chapters. That was it. But because of the more narrative elements that 2 Octo 2 Path has added in, some characters have 4 chapters. Ochet technically only had, on paper, 3, air quotes. But that's because her entire chapter 2 was spread out into mini chapter 2s of acquiring the 3 monsters. So each of the 3 beasts of legend was labeled as a chapter 2. But technically speaking, you played through 1, 2, 3 extra mini chapters. And then you come back to Totohaha and complete her chapter 3, which is why I wasn't expecting it.
I see.
I thought she was going to get a chapter 4.
And so you just waltzed right
I
into
just
the main.
walked straight into it, and it ended, and I was like, oh my God.
I wasn't expecting this at all.
I wasn't expecting it at all. So it blindsided me. But other characters have 5 chapters. And Oswald, I think, is one of the ones that has 5. I think I just recently finished his chapter 4, I want to say, which took a turn.
Oh, yeah.
To not put a spoiler on it, but to kind of put a spoiler on it, I will say that it took, for anime lovers out there,
Sure.
it took a Full Metal Alchemist turn. Yeah.
don't
So
know
if
what
you
that
if you know, you know. Other people in the know. And if you got what that reference was, put it in the comments.
Nice.
It took a real dark turn. I mean, his story was already dark.
A little dark. His family's dead.
But his personality is so ridiculous that it's
Yeah.
hard to take his arc seriously. But no, the end of his chapter 4 was actually very, very dark. And it's like, oh boy.
Wow.
So I suspect that his chapter 5 is going to be a doozy. And I know that one of the people that watches the show put in the comments that they started with Oswald
Yeah.
and that his arc was fucking good.
Yeah.
So I'm hopeful that he will be able to regain some respect in my eyes
And not just like a clumsy planner.
and have a really good, satisfying final arc. I think he's going to get there.
Nice.
Like I said, he has grown on me throughout the rest of the game, but boy, his chapter 1 and 2
Little rough.
were so tonally funny. It's just like, oh my
Yeah.
God, this guy blows.
Oh, yeah, I guess that's true. I played through his chapter 2 also.
Because it's required.
It's required
Yeah.
in the demo. Yeah. No, it was a weird one. It was a weird one for sure. Good stuff, though.
Weird stuff.
Well, let's see. What's a little thing I can give an update on here? I guess I can just talk about Jedi Survivor real quick before we wrap up a little more. Like I said, I'm doing I'm like 35-ish hours probably at this point.
God, I know I said this last time, but you were just cooking with gas lately.
I kind of think I might be actually getting close to the end.
Oh, no.
Like I'm at a chapter. The mission I'm on, I'm kind of like, this could lead to more. But this kind of feels like it's setting me up to like I'm about to head off on like the last mission. So, which I mean, cool. I'm already getting through it in that way. But I was also like, oh, already?
Dick around some more,
I know.
Jared.
I need to. There's actually quite a bit. I actually unlocked a few more like traversal things. It's really good about pacing out how long. Like I'm late in the game and I just unlocked another like environmental like traversal platforming method.
Oh, nice. Like a new ability?
Yeah.
Fun.
And I'm like, man, this is cool. So that's still going really well. I did, though, I will say, and to be completely transparent and honest with everyone, I did lower the difficulty back down to just hard.
Jared, the absolute shame.
I was still progressing through the game fine and was making it through on Grandmaster. But with these games, and I think this is also true in like the Souls games as well, if you die...
If you die in the game, you die in real life.
I'm dead. I'm a ghost talking to you right now. But if it's like, if you die in the game, you can go back and you'll recover like your stuff, like your life, your XP, your souls and stuff like that. You'll recover them. But if you don't recover them and die again, you lose them.
Yeah.
So that happens in this one too. But if you're able to like gain enough XP to unlock a skill point, it'll still like save that skill point that you can unlock later, but you just lose the build up that you had toward the next one.
Oh, okay. I gotcha.
So that's where I was kind of running into the problem, where it's like I'm getting through the game and I'm able to bulldoze my way through like a couple bosses and bigger, harder fights eventually. But I was losing any XP gains that I was getting. So I'm like, I'm progressing through the story. Cool. Making it, but I'm not like being able to like play it to its fullest because I'm not able to unlock my abilities that would eventually make this easier.
I mean, basically, your skill tree was lagging behind.
Exactly.
Gotcha.
So I decided, you know what? I think just for a more cohesive playthrough, and so that I don't get like burned out, I did run into a couple bosses that like took a long time.
Yeah.
To beat, and I was kind of like, you know what, that's not how I want this to be. It's like, it's cool that I'm like where I feel like I'm at the ability level where I could play it at this, but maybe not from like my first playthrough. So I jumped it down.
Plus, if it's apparently going to be such a short game, you definitely got another playthrough in you.
There has to be some other like twist to it that I haven't like got to yet, or something else that's going to. But also, I mean, I am 35 hours in.
I mean, some games
I could
do be
just
like
there.
that.
Yeah, I could just be there.
Technically, if
So,
I had really tried, 2 Octopath probably could have been a 35-hour game.
if you just like sped right through it, yeah.
Yeah, I just refused to
I
let
mean,
that
I'm still
happen.
doing a lot of like exploration and like finding detours and doing stuff like that. But yeah, maybe I'm just already kind of like been blazing through.
How's your home base customization going?
It's going good. There isn't as much customization as much as it is. I guess I might have like explained it a little bit wrong. As much as it is just like recruiting more people to come there, and then like building out the garden on the rooftop.
That's more what I meant. The rooftop.
It's coming along. I found a few more plants, got a few more things planted.
You growing the devil's cabbage yet?
It hasn't given me that as an option, but surely something out there is. But it's their slight little spoiler. You do meet a character who like is a gardener that like comes to you recruit to your base, who is like the overseer of your garden, and you can now like go and talk to her. And she'll tell you like things and facts about the plants and different stuff like that. So
Fun.
It's going good. And then I did also decide, just as like a side thing, because when I get tired of doing that or get beat out on the bosses and need a break, I decided, even though I've beaten the game fully on the Switch, I am going and replaying Star Wars Episode 1 Racer, the pod racing game from the N64, replaying that one on the PlayStation so I can get those trophies, get that platinum. I played like 2 races last night and unlocked like 25% of the trophies, because so many of them are just like, do a boost start, win a first place, get a boost, taunt a player while boosting. And I just like did all these things.
The participation trophies of achievements. That's hilarious.
I was like, this will be a quick platinum. It is like a couple of them are like get first in every race, finish all the.
Man, if it's that easy, maybe I'll do it.
It's a fun game. Like I posted on my Instagram last night that I was playing it, and a buddy responded. He was just like, because I said replaying a classic, and he's like, a classic? Really? Would we call Star Wars Racer a classic? And I was like, absolutely, we would call Star Wars Racer a classic. It is. Even though it's like an N64, and not saying that's a knock against it or anything like that, but it is, the controls are fantastic. It, like, pod racers go like, 500, 700 miles per hour. And this one really captures that, like, you are speeding through these courses.
I can't believe they don't measure speed in midichlorians.
It's a different measurement. But yeah, so I was like, dude, this game is awesome. Like, sure, it didn't have the takeoff of like Mario Kart and stuff like that, but as far as just like a racer, it's fucking great.
Nice.
Don't be talking smack on my racer.
No, I love racers.
It's great.
Racing games are fun.
Oh yeah, good
games.
Got to play good old Cruising USA again.
Oh man, Cruising USA.
That's a good one. Blast from the past.
They came out with a new Cruising, didn't they?
They did.
Fairly
that's right.
recent, and it had a banger set. Like the intro song.
I need to
was
go listen to that
awesome.
again. I need to go play it.
Yeah, go listen to the new Cruising. Cruising. I feel like it was more worldly.
Cruising the World, something like that.
So it may not have been Cruising USA, but the new Cruising game looked really fun.
There's also a new Lego racer out. Like came out
For
just a couple days
starters,
ago.
I really, really want to know what the profit versus development cost is for those Lego games. They can't be expensive to make,
but
like
they
relatively
rake
speaking,
in the monies.
But they rake in the dough.
And this
I would
one
love
looks
to
really
know.
good because it's like fully customizable, build your own race car kind of thing.
Nice.
I was kind of like,
Cool.
ooh, I'm into that. I'm into that.
You know where else you can build your own race car?
Crash Team Racing.
Tears of the Kingdom.
Bringing it all back to square
bringing
one.
it all back to square one. Anyways, the one other thing I wanted to say about 2 Octopath. This is a very light spoiler for Throne's final boss. They made it. He's just a really, really hot Sephiroth. Her final boss is just like this super hot guy with long silver hair, and he wears like kitted out like Final Fantasy sexy outfit, and you're like, Sephiroth, is that you? It's not, but it basically is. So I just wanted to say that her final boss is sexy. That's
Get it?
that's all I wanted to say.
Oh man, awesome.
He's the front runner so far for hottest final boss.
Oh, nice.
So yeah,
That's another list we should do.
Hot villains. Yeah, hot final bosses. We
Or
should
just
do
hot
that.
villains. I'm down for hot villains.
Yeah. All right. Next
Let's talk
episode.
about hotness.
Hot villains. Yeah. I'm gonna go ahead and strike Hades off that list because I am not a fan of his facial hair. To be quite honest,
That's a little bushy.
yeah. It's a little much.
A little much.
And also, he's dick. And personality counts.
And I haven't been able to beat him yet, so he sucks.
Well,
Oh,
oh
man.
boy.
Well, everybody, this has been a great shoot the shit episode. We've covered a lot of ground, and we actually there's a lot of stuff that I didn't at all anticipate we talked about, but hey, we got there.
Yeah,
Oops,
we got
bouncing.
there. Oops.
Careful, desk.
Earthquake.
Careful, desk. Earthquake here. But no, yeah, thanks for everybody. It has been great just talking about all these other random topics that that we like to fill the time with when we're not doing the big reviews and everything like that. Next week, though. Yes. Next week, I had to think, make sure my mental math was right, is the end of the month, so it will be our Team Chat plays next week. So we'll come back with a brand new game. I kind of think we should just do Hitman again.
I would love to do Hitman again. I'm fully on board with that. Because we beat the first mission, didn't we?
Yes.
And we can just go into the second mission. Or for the future, do you have whatever Star Wars game lets you do the Ewok thingy, the night?
You want to play that?
Yeah, I do want to play
we're gonna
that.
play some Battlefront 2.
We're going to Ewok hunt. I only want to play the Ewok one.
Okay,
so
that's fine.
whatever the rest of the game requires, I'm not interested. I just
there's
want to kill Ewoks.
Well, you can do the Ewok hunt for sure.
Yes.
So that'll be fun.
That'll be fun.
So tune in next week. We'll send out the announcement and all that stuff.
And if for whatever reason we can't get it to work, which occasionally does happen, Hitman.
This one should work.
Yeah.
I will test. It's only when we do new games that say online. You can play it online.
And what we mean by new games, we mean new old games.
Yeah.
The older
New
the
games
game,
to
the
us.
more problems there
Yeah,
are.
and so no, Battlefront 2, I play a lot. We should have no problem doing
I'm excited
that one.
about
So we
that. I
should
can't wait to kill Ewoks.
Well, on that cheery note, everyone, we're going to go ahead and bring this episode of Team Chat Podcast to a close. Thanks for hanging out with us this time. And until next time, I'm one of your hosts, Jarrett Wilson, joined to my right by Rachel Miller.
Adios.
We'll see you all next time.